A Teacher's Guide to Effective Questioning. Asking questions is one of a teacher's most effective learning assessment tools. Effective questioning is key because it makes thinking visible. It identifies prior knowledge, reasoning ability, and the specific degree of student understanding. Therefore, it's the ultimate guide for formative progress. Research indicates that as much as 80% of classroom questioning is based on low-order, factual recall questions. Bloom's Taxonomy provides an important framework we can use to craft effective questions that promotes higher-order engagement. You can think of these as 7 levels of thinking. Level 1. Knowledge. This level focuses on the identification and recall of information, with questions such as, what year was the personal protective equipment at work regulations introduced? Level 2. Comprehension. Here, the learners organise information and grasp meaning. At this level, they translate their knowledge into new context, such as explaining the difference between two related subjects, or summarise, order and infer causes in key information. For instance, what differences exist between English bond and Flemish bond? Level 3. Application. At this level, the learners apply their knowledge and can visualise actions in a real-life or applied situations. They can solve problems using the required skill or knowledge and use methods and concepts in new situations, such as, what should you do when using pipe freezing equipment to isolate a damaged section of pipe? Level 4. Analysis. At this level, learners analyse, classify and examine information and use facts, rules and principles to support generalisations with questions such as, you have been given the task of making a chest of drawers. Which type of joints would you use for each section? Level 5. Synthesis. This is where learners combine ideas to create new ones. Here, questioning supports the learner to relate knowledge from several areas, to make predictions and draw conclusions. Radiators are not heating sufficiently in one room of a 3-bed house. How would you diagnose the issue? Level 6. Evaluation. Here, the students develop opinions, judgments or decisions. Questions at this level prompt the learner to justify their thinking, compare and discriminate between ideas, and make choices based on reasoned argument with questions such as, what ceiling insulation material would be most suitable for a chalet-style property? Rock wall loft installation, aluminium foil-backed insulation, or multi-layer foil insulation? And Level 7. Creativity. At this level, the learner thinks independently and in new ways and is able to originate and innovate ideas and methods. They plan, design, experiment and collaborate with questions such as, how would you redesign a 2-storey office block that complies with the Equality Act 2010 but also ensures that usable space for work is maximised? With questioning being such a fundamental element of a successful session, we must put questioning back at the core of our planning. We need to carefully plan and formulate questions with precision, as well as targeting the right questions to the right students.